Welcome to CyberBytes Insights, your most relevant cybersecurity podcast on education, innovation, and outreach. I'm your host, Maggie Dillon, and today I am joined by one of our favorite people, Jennifer Ross with Veteran Upward Bound. Welcome, Jennifer.
Hi, Maggie. I'm so excited to be here.
Likewise, we have had a lot of fun, CyberBytes and VUB and Jen and Curtis over the last couple of months here. Jennifer is the director at Veteran Upward Bound, which is at the Catholic University of America. She is a former program manager with the U.S. Air Force and currently going for her MBA at Cornell Johnson Graduate School of Management, which you will be getting this incoming spring. So congratulations. Yeah, you're almost there. Almost there. We're in the final stretch. So that's awesome and exciting. And today, one of the things that I was so excited to get you on here about was talking about veterans. We're both so passionate on this topic. Both of our organizations are, obviously. And as we kind of really work on our outreach and networking, we really wanted to get engaged on some capacity with Veterans Upward Bound. So if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about what all you are focusing on and a little bit about your role.
Yeah, no, thanks, Maggie. So, Veterans Upward Bound is actually a grant program that is under the Department of Education. I myself had spent 20 years in the Air Force, and Curtis, as you mentioned earlier, is my coworker, and he had spent 20 plus years in the Navy. And between the two of us, actually, neither of us had heard of the Veterans Upward Bound program. And so I've made it kind of my little mission to also kind of share the benefits of this program with other veterans like myself. So Veterans Upward Bound is actually part of a larger encompassing program of suite of services under the TRIO moniker. Obviously, Veterans Upward Bound targets mostly adult non-traditional learners, and we focus on those who are first-generation college students. So their parents, didn't attend, and they're, a first, this is their first foray into higher education, and those who are typically lower income as defined by the Department of Education. But unlike other TRIO programs that are only kind of focused on four-year education, we are also able to help support veterans in a multitude of different ways. So career readiness, certificate training, interview prep, resume prep. There's a lot of different ways that we can help support veterans under our Veterans Upward Bound program. And so it's really exciting. And I love to, kind of share what Veterans Upward Bound does. There's 69 different Veteran Upward Bound programs across the country. So definitely look out for one near you, but we are, again, based in Washington, D.C.
I love it. And as far as some of the things that you are doing, you had mentioned certificate programs. What all types of educational courses or areas could people really get involved in that you're really highlighting?
Yeah, so we really like to work with veterans and ask them, what they're interested in. I've only been in the role since June, so I'm fairly new. But most of the time, a lot of our veterans, we found that they're interested in everything from, cybersecurity, some type of IT certificates. And then we have those who are interested in, project management or financial literacy. There's a big aspect, there's a big part of going back to school that deals with, budgeting and can I afford it? How do I make it work? Even those who have a GI Bill or access to other VA educational programs, finances can be tough. It's, going back to school is not an inexpensive endeavor. So we work with with veterans on even simply, figuring out a financial budget and, the basics of budgeting and, applying for your federal student loans if you should need those.
We were just talking about how many of us need refresher courses. And when I say us, I mean adult population at large. And I love everything that you're talking about here, because whether you're talking cybersecurity or just kind of reentry or that transitioning military, you offer everything. And I think it's kind of a great one-stop shop in a sense for the veterans, their spouses, dependents, and it's across the board. With regards to how VUB is positioning themselves for 2025, more on the outreach side, what are you doing, or any type of strategies you're open to discussing?
Yeah, so one of our biggest focuses for 2025 is building out those community partnerships. I think everybody in the higher education space and the veteran space understands that the more support you have, the better your programming is, and the better results you have for your veteran population. So Veterans Upward Bound is only per our grant written to support the student veteran themselves, but we know again that educational journey takes a village. It takes the entire family to be on board. So that's one of the biggest ways that we're trying to kind of build out our program is find community partnerships that are able to partner with us in supporting the student veteran, and then not only just the student veteran, but their families, their spouses, their children, the dependents that are also part of this educational journey that we're supporting the student veteran for. So a lot of our community partnerships right now are focused on programs that can help spouses, programming that can augment our support for student veterans for their kids, and then even supporting some of our student veterans with things like childcare or food insecurity. You can't really study that well if you're hungry and you don't know where dinner's coming from, or you're worried about just supporting your family in general. So we understand that education is just one piece, and we want to make sure that we're looking at a holistic partnership with others that can help us get these students from starting that application all the way to the finish line into graduation. So again, a lot of our partnerships we're focused on are those who aren't simply having to focus on, the veteran themselves, but can help us bring that holistic, wraparound services for our program in general.
Wonderful. As far as some of when you're really talking full circle, is there any type of after school programs or summer camps that VUB is getting involved in?
Yeah, so we have an amazing dean of summer programs who is actually working with CyberBytes right now, because one of the things that we found is not only were our student veterans interested in IT certificates, but their children were. So some of the fun programming that we were looking into is everything from drone assembly, computer assembly. These are small, short workshops that I know CyberBytes is extremely good at providing. And we realized not only is that a fun activity for dependents and children to get involved in, but a lot of our student veterans were actually like, hey, wait, what about me too? I want to build some fun, cool models and drones and learn how to build out a computer. So we realized, like, why not create, one large kind of summer program that involved not only the student veterans, but allowed their family members and, the K through 12, well, not really K through 12, but, your high school students to come in and actually help participate. So we're really looking forward to seeing where that can actually, where that can go this summer, and definitely stay tuned, because I think that's going to be an exciting project in the future.
I know we are ecstatic, and there are so many things coming down the pipeline for 2025. And it's almost like we're seeing a progression in a really organic way. And I'll give you an example. So we did our summer camps this year, went fantastic. We had some really good success stories come out of there. One of our volunteers actually was a veteran herself, came in, volunteered with the summer camps, and she ended up getting recruited in a job with one of the partners, cybersecurity company. And just from her coming in and volunteering. And so to see something like that, and then this last Friday, we had our Tech or Treat event to celebrate Halloween with the community. We had over 100 kids come out. We had 16 different companies doing the trunk or treat, but we had tech-related games, flying drones, these types of things. And so seeing these little kids all the way up to what we're talking about here today, and the progression of interest, I think that's exciting for me. And maybe that sounds really nerdy now that I'm saying that out loud, but I'm a geek for this type of stuff. So when I hear about your type of programs and see what CyberBytes is doing, both on the academic side, but also just outreach side, you as well, you and your team are so involved. It's reinvigorating. And I think more people need to hear about these things. So I appreciate you sharing that. That being said, and I always ask this question because this is the meat and potatoes for things. Other education institutions or anyone else in your industry, especially veteran-based, what for you do you think have been some of the biggest challenges you've had to work with this year and maybe had to overcome in preparation for next year?
Yeah, Yeah, I think obviously, so we're actually a fairly new program. Some of the Veterans Upward Bound programs have been operating for years, and Curtis actually was our first program director only a year and a half ago. So I think one of the biggest challenges for us is just one, establishing our footprint and getting our name out there and letting people know what Veterans Upward Bound does. But two, it's really kind of figuring out, what is the best use of our resources? What should we be doing? And I think that's where these short little snippets of programming really come in invaluable. Because one of the biggest challenges that I think veterans have is kind of figuring out what they want to do. They know they're good at a lot of things. I've met so many talented veterans who could, craft a resume for probably 10 different jobs and look like an expert in each. But when you ask them, what do you want to do? What do you want that educational journey to look like? A lot of times they don't know. And a lot of times that's simply because they haven't had the opportunity or the exposure to something that they really are interested in. So that's where we're really focused on bringing in these short kind of snippet type courses for veterans to experience. Like I said, some of them come in and say they already know they want to do IT. They already know they're interested in some type of STEM degree. But there's a lot of people who maybe they've never even seen themselves in that role. But once they actually get their hands on that type of tech or take a 3 or 4 day course, they realize, hey, not only am I actually have the aptitude for this, but I actually find it enjoyable. And that's one of the things that I really want to help kind of build our program, and is that exploration phase. I think that's something that, it's easy to help somebody apply for college. I mean, those are basics. There's an application, there's an essay, there's an interview. You can help somebody prep for that. But to help somebody really figure out and navigate that dream, I think that's really what I want our VUB program to help solidify and help people see themselves where they might not have saw themselves before. And so I think we can do that with these micro programs, these short courses, and really allow veterans to kind of branch out and see themselves in educational tracks and programming and sort of certification programs that they might not have even considered before getting the opportunity to try it out.
Such a huge fan of what you just pointed out. Micro programs are a huge deal with everything being at a deficit, at least in the cybersecurity realm, but especially on the workforce development portion. Such a disconnect for transitioning military, trying to get day-to-day jobs with, just like you were talking about, that resume creation, how to represent themselves in an interview to where the person they're talking to who may not be a veteran or have any military experience, how do they understand? How does that correlate? And I personally think it's nerve-wracking enough to apply to college on your own, let alone all the military stuff we were talking about with these veterans here. It's overwhelming. And so I'm so thankful for you being here today to help us spread the message, because we can't spread it enough. I am constantly telling people, repost our stuff, because that's the only way we can really get a lot of these messages out. So as far as if anyone wanted to maybe come tour your location, do you schedule appointments if people wanted to come in and actually walk the campus?
Yes, no, we love having people come and visit. We actually just moved into new spaces at the beginning of the school year, so now we have plenty of room for anybody to come and actually visit our team. We're located at Gowan Hall on Catholic University campus, which is literally right across the street from where the DC Metro drops off at that Brooklyn CUA Metro stop. But we work a lot with, the campus itself. So if you would like a campus tour, we can arrange that. Or we're actually starting to build programming. So once a month, we bring in admissions counselors from, universities in the local area, so they can talk to our students in person and virtually about their programs and what veteran services they offer. Because one of the things that I love about the Veterans Upward Bound program at Catholic is, while Catholic is our host, they've really given me the freedom to work with veterans and help them find the program, like I said, that really supports and fills their need. Maybe we don't have the online offering that you need to, work full time and, take care of your day to day, but there's another DC based campus that does, or there's another online university that can really, fit that, your needs perfectly. That's something that at Veterans Upward Bound we're able to do. we don't have to just recruit for one university. So that's another kind of way that I think we can really partner with some of the other organizations is, if you have strong veterans programs, let's connect. I'd love to, share what offerings you have with our student veteran population. We work with, at least 125 student veterans a year. And that is just directly connected. Tangentially, through our events and our programming, we reach a lot more than that. And that is the goal, is really just find those strong veteran programs and share them with our cohorts. So, they can find the right fit for exactly what they're looking for. I think I just saw a recent statistic that over 50% of transitioning veterans are actually utilizing their GI Bill benefits, but they're underrepresented in, college internships. And then there's a lot of people who are, they're going back to school, but then they're not finding jobs in the career or the program of study that they ended up going through, and then they don't even use their degree. We don't want to see that. If you're taking the time and you're spending, your GI Bill, let's help you find exactly what it is that you want to use it for, get you in the right program where that program is also going to set you up for success. And at the end of it, you've created that new chapter for yourself, that not only are you a transitioning veteran, but you're a successfully transitioning veteran who can share that experience with others.
I love that. That was a great explanation. And I'm going to do a little backup exposure for you. So the VUB team is not just sitting here waiting to receive people. They are all about outreach themselves and supporting other organizations and veterans just out of the kindness of their heart. I've seen it firsthand many times. I don't always get to say that about everybody that I come across in the professional world, but wow, I've been blown away. And just the way you have a passion towards participating with the community and the people, it's rare. So thank you to you. Thank you to Curtis and VUB. I've been very, very impressed, and I can't say enough good things. So if you are a transitioning military looking to get into any of the things that Jen has really gone over in depth today, please feel free to get in touch with her. Jen, if anyone wanted to reach out to you, what's the best way for them to get in touch?
Yeah, email or our website. Obviously, our website is vub.catholic.edu, or just reach out to me directly. It's rossjl@cua.edu. And I would be so excited to, help work with anybody. We do have a fantastic team. I might be a little bit biased, but we have a lot of fun, and we just love to have people hang out, and come learn about what is out there for higher education. How can you figure out and navigate the process, and what is the right program for you? Let us help you figure that out, because that's what we're there for, and that's what we enjoy doing.
Absolutely. And even on something that just came to my mind is if someone wanted to get into this area of study and maybe they weren't transitioning military or a veteran, going to work for an organization like VUB would be a great way to get in with some of the things that we've talked about here. Because I'm sure you do too. I get people asking all the time, how did you get into where you're working now? And I'm like, it's a weird story. So I always tell people, like, you never know. Send an email and you might get a response saying, hey, let's talk. So I want to be sure to mention that. And on my end, I always have to talk about our donation campaign. We are in heavy ramp up mode with the CyberBytes Foundation, promoting what we've kind of talked a little bit about here, but for us, our Crossroads program, which is focusing on end-to-end services for transitioning military, veterans, first responders, their spouses and dependents, goal-starved families, and underrepresented communities. We do have several donation campaigns. The easiest way to do would be go to our website. The link will be here on the bottom. Click on donation. We have several options there. You could do a one-time donation. You could do recurring if you want to do more of a monthly route. And then also keep an eye out on all of our social media for the platforms and give butters that we're going to be sharing. So we certainly appreciate all your contributions. Please know those contributions go towards helping these veterans that we've really discussed here in depth, working with organizations like VUB and the like, and we certainly appreciate it. But Jen, I really appreciate your time today. This was very informative and always a pleasure.
Yes, no, thank you, Maggie. It was so great to talk to you, and look forward to all of the future partnerships between VUB and CyberBytes.
it's going to be a great year, 2025. That
Is.
is
I
that
can't
daily
wait.
affirmation. It's going to be better. So thank you for checking us out today. Again, this is CyberBytes Insights podcast, your premier podcast on education, innovation, and outreach. Stay tuned. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.